Hey guys, Daryl Taylor coming to you again from Las Vegas, Nevada. Got a beautiful day out here. It's perfect, about 80 degrees, not much wind. Um, I'm going to make a follow-up video to my previous video talking about face-on putting, why I do what I do, maybe a little more in-depth for some of my students and also people that happen to drop by the YouTube channel or the Rumble channel. We're going to talk about a little more in depth. I talked last time about how I set up, why I set up, what I do, what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to putt it straight, obviously. Well, if you think about it, I've got my trusty circle here, along with my target line, as you can see in orange. We're going to talk about what I do when I set up. I talked about last time, people were saying, they were asking me how come I don't set up where the shaft is at an angle like this instead of straight up and down. I putt straight up and down. And the reason, because if I do this, you can see that my circle now becomes laid down. And hopefully the camera can pick that up. I'm going to exaggerate it. So if my shaft is angled like that, let's say it's like this, you can see how now there's a curvature, there's an arc to that putting style. Now the ball will go straight. If you practice this enough, I think it's more difficult. So obviously if I do this, you can see where my circle now is straight up and down. And that's what I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to make a straight up and down circle. Circular motion. So I don't want it to arc. This is what I don't want it to do. I don't want that to arc. So that being the case, the other thing I had some students were asking me, how did you find where to play the ball? Well, I'm gonna illustrate that I'm putting this way. If I line that ball up, if you can see with my toe line, if I put this circle right here, you can see that if I were putting this, I'll get on this side of it with my putter, and this is the bottom of the circle. So if I'm putting this, you can see how I'm hitting that on a slightly downward angle. I experimented with this, putting the ball here, moving it way forward, basically moving this thing all over out where I want it, because I want to hit that, if this makes any sense, I want to hit this putt on a slightly ascending blow. In other words, I want that putter moving slightly up, not very much. That more or less is going to help it hug the ground. It's not going to bounce. If I hit down into it like this, I'm exaggerating, but if I hit that, it's going to drive the ball into the ground and make it start jumping. Usually when that happens, even in traditional putting, if you're hitting down on the putter, the ball's usually going to jump left or right, and it's usually going to have perhaps a little bit of backspin on it, which we don't want when we putt. So I found for myself, when I position that ball a couple of inches, about 2 or 3 inches in front of my toe line, so again, if I drop my circle right here, you can see right in there that I'll move it over to here where you can see it, I would be putting this on a slightly ascending arc like that, which is what I want to do. I think it puts a better roll on it. Other things that I do that I probably didn't explain on the last video. Obviously I don't want my hand over here, because now you can see the shaft is at an angle. If I have it straight up and down, what helps me is to have the back of my hand facing my target. And also I try to line up the top end, the butt end of this club, with my shoulder socket. That helps me. If I do that, then I know I can take this putter straight back and straight through. And I'm trying to somewhat anchor this. I don't want to grip it really tight, but I usually will have it in those fingers. And I have I want to hold it fairly still. It's almost impossible to hold it exactly still. The other reason I do this is, as you can see, I am not anchoring this putter. I don't want this, because you could technically get into trouble with the USGA because they don't want you anchoring the putter, and I believe, I don't know whether this is true or not, I'm sure someone will correct me, I believe you cannot anchor either your hand or your arm. This is your arm from your elbow up to here. You can't anchor that up against your body to putt like this. That's my understanding of the rule. That being the case, I won't get into it. I'll get into the argument. If you putt traditionally and you have your arms up against you, to me that's anchoring also. But of course that's okay, because the USGA, they want you to putt. They want you to putt this way. They don't want you to putt the way I'm putting. It doesn't look good to them. That being said, those are kind of just some points that I wanted to make about my putting style. I feel like I'm a better putter that way. The other thing that I do, I think I talked about this last time, is that there's 3 different ways you can work on your stroke. You can take it back long and stop here at the ball, which is kind of a pop stroke. You can take it equidistant, so if I take it back, let's say 8 inches and through 8 inches, I could putt that way. The other way that I could do it, which is the way that I do it, I take it back very short, like this, and follow through long. For me, that works better. I'm not going to say it works better for you, but it works better for me. You can try all 3 of those styles, see if any of those may work for you. The short back works for me, and I think I talked about that in my earlier video, that I don't have time when I take it back short and I go long like this. I don't have time. To me, that's more like I would toss it. I don't have time to think about, where is this putter going? How far back is it going? I'm not thinking about any of that. I'm actually looking at the hole. The other thing that I do that I haven't talked about, as I start this putter back, I actually look at my target. I don't look at the ball when I'm putting. Again, that sounds kind of weird. I know if I'm set up correctly, I'm going to hit that ball dead center in the putter. I don't have to sit here and stare at it. So I can actually, as I take the putter back, I can actually look up. That's more the way that I toss the ball. I actually look at the target as I'm putting. So I hope those items help you maybe get a little better understanding of how we use face-on putting. May or may not help you. I think it takes a little bit of practice. I've had a lot of people tell me that, oh yeah, it doesn't work for me. I don't think they practiced it hard enough. But let me see if I can make some of these putts. These are 10 footers, by the way. Let's see if I can make them just for fun. A little bit right. And that one's a little left. Made one. Did I hit it? Just almost. Made one out of 4. That's not good for me. I usually, for an unedited try, that was pretty good. So please leave some comments below if you maybe have some different ideas about how to putt, because I would sure like to try them out and see if they